In this video, I'm going to explain how to load an Mamiya 6 Folding, one of the ones from the 1950s and 60s, with a modern roll of 120 film. To begin, you'll need to open up the back door of the film right here. So that is on the left side, on the bottom, there's one tab, and you simply pull that tab down, and that will release the door. The door slides open, and you'll be ready to then load your film. The way that the Mamiya 6 works on this one is that it has a backing plate, and that needs to be removed here. Unlike other cameras where the backing plate is built into the back of the door, this one, it is completely separate. So all that does is that simply comes out just as such. The next step is I need to move the film reel from its original space over to where it will become the take-up spool. So right here on the bottom, there are these two knobs. Simply all you have to do is pull them down and they'll release. So now I'm going to reload it, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to pull that down and then twist it around here so that kind of that like flathead style, like a screwdriver, is on the top, and then it just moves it around and move around until it clicks in just as such. Now it's time to actually put the film in the camera. All I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this over here. This is the take-up side, so there's no wheels or pulleys or anything over here. I need to make sure that the middle dot is connected, and then the second one just as such. Now this gets a little bit tricky coming in through here, but all I have to do is I have to slide that underneath this top paper, or like right in here. So you can see here that that arrow is guiding you, and this piece is on top. Next, you'll slide all the way over and into this other side. I need to then just thread the new film backing paper into the new take-up spool, and then begin to twist. As I'm going to begin to twist, I'm going to hold my finger right there on top of that take-up spool to make sure it maintains pressure as it's beginning just as such, just like there. And we're going to keep on going until it feels pretty good. Next, I'm going to take that same backing right in here, and I'm going to slide it over, and just as it is pulling in, I usually just let it pull itself all the way in, just like so, to make sure that nothing's getting pinched or twisted or anything like that. Once it reaches the point it's supposed to stop, there are these little feet there that will protect it from moving any further. And now all I simply have to do is begin twisting just like that. And you can see here that arrow there, and that's a good start. Next, I would simply close the back door, which is closing it and then pushing that tab back down. At this point, I need to continue twisting my winder right here, and that'll bring the film inside of there, all the way back across there over and over again, until I see either the word Kodak or the number 1 appear right here in the middle of this circle. All 120 backing paper will have either a name or a number in those positions that will help you know that it's in the right place. And that is the same whether it's Kodak, Lomography, Fujifilm, or whatever. But when it is loaded in there, you would simply just close the door and you would be ready to start taking your pictures. This being the automat version of it, meaning the automatic version, is that it is then ready to go and I can begin taking pictures. For this particular camera, it is a little bit strange, and so all I would do is I would open up the door by pushing this little button on the top, right in here, and then I could cock the shutter, which is this little knob right here, and then I would be ready to take a picture. Just like so, I could click it. Apparently that was a pretty long shutter, which is why that took a while. Then one thing, before I would be able to continue moving on, there's this little knob right here, and what that does is that will release it to allow it to move on to the next picture. I would definitely recommend this is a camera that I would always wind after I finish taking a picture, just because it is very easy to accidentally put double exposures on it. So I always made it sure that I would take a picture and then wind it. But because you had to cock the shutter, it's impossible to like accidentally trigger the shutter mechanism. Usually, because if it's just in my pocket, it's closed and it definitely can't take a picture like this. But even if it's open, it will only take a picture if that shutter mechanism is initiated. So it kind of helps you from being able to take accidental photos, but make sure you're moving it forward after you finish the photo so that you're not accidentally taking photos on top of the photo you already took. Once you've finished and you get all the way around to 12, you'll simply continue twisting that knob, twist for a very long time until you feel that paper come all the way off. If you're not entirely certain if the paper has been moved, you can simply open this up, and if you can see the paper inside. Now, this one had a yellow backing paper, so it's a little bit more tricky to see, but if it was a white backing paper, it would be pretty obvious that there was still paper inside of there, and you would keep going until there's nothing, and that would mean that it is all inside of the new take-up spool and be ready to be removed and a new roll inserted. Anyway, hope this is helpful. See you around.